Good evening and welcome to the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime Live from Douala, the country's economic capital. We are live from Studio A of My Media Prime. My name is Gienda Peldrin Blanche King, and on today's edition of Prime News, we begin with the news on the 33% of tax imposed on the smartphones. Cameroonians have been informed on a new tax imposed on all imported phones. This will require smartphone users to pay 33% tax on new devices. This was made public and announced recently by the Minister of Telecommunication, Minette Libom Lilikeng, and the Minister of Finance, Louis Paul Mutaza. Details with Audrey Zatsa in the following report.
In 2 days to come, users of new digital terminals such as cell phones and tablets will now be expected to pay custom charges and duties. The main aim is to fight against undeclared imports and contraband. The payment of these dues will be made as soon as the SIM card is activated in a new phone. A platform partnering with the government on this new law will receive a message from the operator who will notify the user on what the custom fees for his phone is. The economist Edmond Kuete shares his view on this new law.
These charges are not new. They are it's just a transfer. It simply means that the custom charges and duties on the phones and tablets were transferred from a physical to numerical, from the door entrance to the end market. It simply means that the wholesalers, the importers of phones and tablets will no longer be the one to take care of the custom charges and duties, but the end user will be the one to do that.
He goes further to explain some effects that this might have on phone prices and how payments would be made.
It might change the cost of the phone in the market, because if in the past the seller was adding the charges and the duties of custom to the phone, he will no longer do that, but instead the end user will be the one to pay. And the rate of these charges is about 33%. It simply means that if now you buy a phone, like let's say 100,000, the charges will be 33,000. That's what you will pay. And there are two ways of paying. Either you pay in a one shot, or you pay in several installments. Like they said, there will be several options. Everyone will be free to decide, make a decision whether you want to pay at once or you want to pay in several installments.
The announcement of the enforcement of the law has sparked widespread criticism, leading to a end phone tax hashtag on social media platforms.
Some internally displaced persons in Bonaberi, Douala have received basic food items and some didactic materials offered them by Survie Cameroun initiative. The over 100 families benefited from the move initiated to help the vulnerable population and victims of the ongoing crisis. Details in the following report. Over 100 internally displaced persons around Bonaberi, Douala have benefited from didactic materials and consumables donated by Survie Cameroun initiative. This goodwill gesture, according to the donors, is a response strategy to the over 100 vulnerable persons who have involuntarily left their settlement and are facing a difficult phase in life coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic. Fabrice Lena is the representative of Survie Cameroun Survivor Initiative, IDP's rescue program in Douala.
This is an initiative, Survivor Cameroun, an initiative that was launched some time ago by Prof. Maurice Kamto and managed by Penda Ikoka. Survivor Cameroun is an initiative to help Cameroonians in times of difficulty. It was first launched under the conditions of coronavirus, and we deemed it necessary to take it out of that perspective to go to also those that have been affected by the Anglophone crisis. That is why we are here today. I am here representing the Survivor Cameroun initiative because it is a citizenship initiative. It has no affiliation to any political party.
The goods comprising of vegetable oil, bags of rice, books, bags, hand sanitizers, nose masks, just to name but these, was a timely move much appreciated by beneficiaries who expressed satisfaction through smiles and words of gratitude.
We will be a runner. We will not even know left and right now for them. I thank you for the help me and around help me because I don't even know. I just surprised you. May God bless you, give you a long life and give you a hand again for another people.
Consumables and didactic materials were equally distributed to some internally displaced persons in Yaoundé, all in an attempt to lessen the burden of Cameroonians highly affected by the ongoing socio-political and economic crisis.
This initiative today, it is combined. We have Douala and Yaoundé. In Douala, we were expecting to receive 500 persons. The expenditure is target of 500 persons in Douala and same in Yaoundé. 500 persons in Yaoundé divided into 2 zones.
Survie, Cameroon Survivor Initiative, being apolitical, has promised to help vulnerable Cameroonians from urban to rural areas. Some displaced kids seeking refuge in Douala have equally received didactic materials to enable them kickstart the new academic year. That's the 2020-2021 academic year. The event, built under the theme Education for Peace, is an initiative of Grass to Grace, a humanitarian organization, Cameroon, dubbed Operation 100 IDP Kits for Back to School. Darling Gundy was part of this distribution exercise. She compiled the following.
Being an internally displaced person is not a choice, and it even gets more complicated when you can't make a choice for yourself in life. Such is the case with these kids who have been displaced from their original homes due to the crisis rocking the 2 Anglophone regions of the country for years. With the need to foster their education, the responsibility is not an easy one for their parents to shoulder by themselves, given that most of them only survive from hand to mouth. It is within this wake and many more that the Grass to Grace Humanitarian Foundation has donated some didactic materials to enable the pupils return to school age-free.
There are 100 of them today who came out in their numbers, and they were given some didactic materials and back-to-school items for a age-free 2020-2021 academic year.
The event, dubbed Operation 100 IDP Kids for Back to School, initially registered a maximum of 100 pupils, but thanks to extra provisions, more than 100 pupils were made beneficiaries to the kind gesture.
Actually, we registered 100 IDPs from house to house. We did censor, registered their names, but when we arrived here, you saw the population, it was more than. But we thank God that everybody, we also budgeted for more than 100 here because there's always such eventuality. And more than everybody who was there was satisfied.
Talking with this partner to the Grass to Grace humanitarian organization, he says the backdrop for his support cuts across his love for humanity.
Pretty much, this is what I've been doing. I've just been keeping it low. I love children, I love people. I've even though I have an orphanage here in Bonaberi that I built, and I've been taking care of kids in the ground, but I ain't got no purpose here to take care of the babies.
While thrilling the crowd with her melodious soundtrack, Pata Pata, the artist Chili has this message for the youths.
A lot of us at times we feel low of who we are. You are a strong person. You are a great person. You are filled with talents. God has blessed you with hands, eyes. You have a lot of greatness in you. Just believe and move.
On his part, this member of the Grass to Grace Humanitarian Foundation says he is overwhelmed with joy, given that their objectives were met beyond expectation.
I'm very happy. They are above 100, so we believe that we have impacted the lives of so many today.
According to the chief organizer of the event, the future is still pregnant with many projects.
We are henceforth organizing the 3rd edition of Afro Community Selfless Empowerment Award, which starts on Friday. Afro Community Selfless Empowerment Award is an African award where we honor African sons and daughters like this big guy from the United States who've been doing so much to help the African continent.
By the end of the day, the event was concluded with a series of selfies and snapshots for lasting memories.
Still, as part of humanitarian scheme, the not-profit organization or association Abel's Foundation, accompanied by a
After making the first visit to the blind man, came over the weekend with this first consignment of their support for the blind man and family.
We, the Ebel Foundation, this is what we brought after, which we are going to pay for Mama Caroline's finishing of her tailoring that she has started, but she has not finished. Ebel Foundation will be back again here to pay for her tailoring work, after which she has finished the work. We'll open her a workshop. 4 bags of rice, a bag of salt, a carton of savon, and 20 liters of palm oil. So these are the things we brought today.
The gifts, made up of food and other items, were presented to the family by this board member of the Ebel Foundation, Madame Maku Grace, who now talks more about the foundation and their next projects.
We are the Ebel Foundation, and we are here in Mr. Ketu's house because we once saw a documentary about Mr. Ketu. So we, the Ebel Foundation, thought it wise to come and see how we can help in our own little way. The Ebel Foundation is a Cameroon-based association that was formed by Mrs. Gladys Tiba and Madame Teso Sofina. Objective is reaching out to the underprivileged ones through humanitarian services. We have a host of beneficiaries undergoing vocational training. These are Cameroonian youths. After their training, we will establish them in their own workshops. We are calling on more people to join us so that together we can do greater things.
Motivated by this wonderful initiative by the Ebel Foundation, the sister non-profit Bandeka Worldwide, actively represented, also made a huge financial donation to the Ketum's family to the tune of 250,000 francs CFM, while promising more for the family, as revealed by this member of the Bandeka Worldwide Association.
When we saw the documentary that Media Prime made, we were so touched, because nowadays it's not easy to find persons with disabilities that are so determined, because it's just determination that you can see someone doing what we saw him doing, like splitting wood and removing sand from the river. Even people with sight, I don't think many of them have that courage to go to the river to remove sand. So when we saw that, we said no, it's worth assisting him. So we are here this morning with an envelope of 250,000 francs to hand it over to him for the school needs of his children.
On his part, Mr. Ketum Joseph, while receiving the kind donations with much joy in his heart, has in turn rained God's blessings to everyone who has been of help to him, as he better explains.
I want to thank them for their coming. As they don't come, they don't bless me, they don't buy me many things. So I recognize which way they don't do for me. And may God bless them, bless everything way they don't bring up for me. In Jesus' name.
At the end of the day, smiles were put on the faces of this entire household and the family picture taken to impact the bond.
We now move over to the City of Excellence, Boya. The University of Boya community was shocked on Friday when individuals who identified as members of a Bulu native community invaded a portion of land on campus, claiming ownership over the said portion, demanding the University of Boya drops every former claim over the portion of land. My Media Prime team was present to compile the following report. It was a bitter day for some members of the University of Boya community. Persons claiming to be members of Bulu native community invaded portions of land on campus with claims of ownership. According to these individuals, the University of Boya has no claim over this land and should in no way be identified as a property of the University of Boya. The disputed area serves as a demonstration farm for students from the Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine. Some of their projects and fields were destroyed. President of the Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine expresses dismay and worries over the claims and recent destruction.
We have been working here, but now the Bulu natives just came and said it is their land. The day that they did pecking, we informed the administration. And now you see the area, they just passed road based on their map without even considering the fact that it is a research that has been going on. There is a lot that we have put in this project, both from initiation of this project right up to this stage. It is really heartbroken.
The advocate for the University of Buea equally presented the stakes as per the recent incident.
I'm the lawyer for the University of Buea. If you look up to my right there, about half a kilometer up the road, that's where these administrators try to infringe on University of Buea land. We beat them at the Supreme Court, and that land has been restored to university. It's titled land. Where we are here behind is a part of the university land that was cut by this road. 44 hectares of it belong to university. 2 hectares was ceded to Catholic Church, which you see down there, where they have made, I think, a monastery or something. And all of this 42 hectares and something belongs to university.
A native from the soil says this can only be a calculated move to bring shame and confusion on the institution.
I'm very, very disappointed with such actions. Just for the fact that boundary marks have been destroyed and so on, it's a clear indication that enemies of ACO are at work. This is a historic university, the first Anglo-Saxon university in this country. And people who just come from nowhere, create new layouts that the university should relocate to somewhere else. It's uncalled for.
The University of Buea is, however, on a quest to ensure that the situation be put under control and all parties be clarified. You're watching the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. 2 newly appointed commanding officers at the specialized marine training centers in Songo have been installed into office by the general in charge of joint military centers. Our reporter Kuma Norimbom was part of the installation ceremony. He completes this report.
The commander in charge of the joint military training centers, General Philip Pai, was in West Coast Edina over the weekend to install 2 new directors of the specialized marine training centers at Isongo. The first installation ritual witnessed the commissioning into office the director of the specialized maritime and law enforcement training center, known in its French acronym as Cipfima. The new director, Commander Fuda Ngobo, is replacing Lieutenant Colonel Mion Petisech, transferred to the naval base in Douala. The new commanding officer of Cipfima is a holder of several diplomas within the military rank. He was the commander of the multinational mixed force in the far north while on a mission to fight against the barbaric Boko Haram sect. He is said to have carried out several offensive operations to combat the Boko Haram sect precisely in December 2017 and July 2018. He is an expert in parachuting, a military commando, and a good sportsman in diverse disciplines. He is married and a father of 5 children. The second phase of the installation ritual took place at the explanade of EPEM premise. Captain Bindangemang Erolin is the new commanding officer of EPEM. EPEM simply means Maritime Law Reinforcement and Diving School. He is taking over from Commander Andolo Shali, transferred to other duties. The new commanding officer of EPEM is of the 30th batch of Emir. After graduating in 2005, baptized the Abdullahi Omaru Garua promotion. He is a holder of several diplomas in maritime engineering and navigation. He has served in the military detachments with the Delta Force and B Code. He is a holder of a major state diploma, known in French as SEM. It is worth mentioning to note that the new commanding officer of EPEM, Commandant Bindangema Erolin, doubles as the commander in charge of the specialized diving school at Isongo, known in the French acronym as Corpaco.
Cameroon joined the world yesterday to commemorate the 25th edition of the International Day of the Girl Child, would focus on empowering the girl child. This year's edition was focused or had more strings attached to empowering or encouraging the girl child to speak out, as our reporter from Quinta tells us in the following report.
October 11 each year is commemorated as the International Day of the Girl Child, set aside by the United Nations Organization to empower and promote the rights of every young girl. 25 years since the adoption of the Beijing Declaration, it was an opportunity to again revisit and address challenges of the girl child, and in Cameroon, education is one of the key components to promote girls' empowerment and fulfillment of their human rights.
To encourage the girl child, it is important that she should be educated at home and at school. At home, parents should be able to counteract the myth that the girl child means it's literature. And equally, they should be able to teach them the do's and don'ts growing up as a girl child. In school, teachers should be able to encourage the girl child that she can perform better or even best in class, because there are some girl children who believe that the boys in their class are more intelligent than they are based on the way teachers have put it.
This year's edition of the International Day of the Girl Child is commemorated in Cameroon amid the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, where thousands of young girls have been deprived from the right of education. Equally, Boko Haram insurgency and coronavirus pandemic, amongst others that have stood on the path of empowering and fulfillment of the rights of most girls. Commemorated under the theme of Voices Are Equal Future, it is hoped that the voices of every girl will be heard, and equally all forms of discrimination of the girl child remains a thing of the past.
In the following health report, our reporter talks about mental health condition which kills about 3 million people across the globe yearly. This year's campaign is commemorated under the theme Mental Health for All, Greater Investment. This awareness campaign is in line with this year's edition of the International Day of Mental Health. Bokengo Kemya Worthy reports.
COVID-19 pandemic affecting and changing lives considerably, mental health has become even more important for health workers and sufferers. To talk about the challenges they face daily regarding the condition, especially during this period.
COVID-19 has impacted the mental health of millions of people in terms of the anxiety and fear it has caused, and disruption to mental health services. In low and middle income countries, more than 75% of people with mental, neurological and substance use disorders receive no treatment for their condition at all.
Though the prevalence for mental health sufferers such as depression, anxiety, mental and bipolar disorders are high, the condition remains one that is very stigmatized and widely neglected.
Mental health was already a neglected health issue globally. Close to 1 billion people are living with a mental disorder. 3 million people die every year from the harmful use of alcohol. And 1 person dies every 40 seconds by suicide. Yet, relatively few people have access to quality mental health services. Stigma, discrimination, punitive legislation, and human rights abuses are still widespread. This year's World Mental Health Day, WHO, together with our partner organizations, United for Global Mental Health and the World Federation for Mental Health, is calling for a massive scale-up in investments in mental health.
Following this year's theme for the awareness campaign, Mental Health for All, Greater Investment, it is important to note that mental health includes one's emotional, psychological, and social well-being, affecting how one think, feel, and act. And as such, it is important to invest more knowledge and create awareness regarding the condition.
Bokengo Worthy, ending our report in sports. The Crise is rocking. The Cameroon Football Federation and the Cameroon Professional League has taken a different twist, with the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, threatening to suspend Fcfa. In the report that follows, sportsman Fabrice Keninga says Cameroon risks losing via Chan 2021 and AFCON 2022 hosting rights. His report.
The crisis rocking the Cameroon Football Federation and the Cameroon Professional League is far from ending. The dispute has now attracted the attention of World's Football Governing Body, FIFA, who in a letter recently has threatened to suspend the Cameroon Football Federation following what they describe as government interference coming from the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education. FIFA, in a release on October 8, 2020, reminded Fcfa of the fact that Articles 13 and 17 of FIFA statutes oblige member associations to manage their affairs independently and with no influence from third parties. On his part, Cameroon's Minister of Sport and Physical Education, who has been holding meetings with the warring fractions with the aim of implementing the September 14 decision from the Court of Arbitration for Sports, denies the claims. Professor Narcisse Moele Kombi, in a letter addressed to Fcfa President, explained that it is for the sake of appeasement and with the aim of restoring the LFPC to its rights that the government offered its mediation in the crisis between the Cameroon Football Federation and the Cameroon Professional League. Should FIFA suspend the Cameroon Football Federation, this will mean that both the 2021 CHAN and the 2022 AFCON will not take place in Cameroon, as well as PWG of Bamenda's CAF Champions League hopes will be dashed. With the present state of affairs, the future of Cameroon's football is shrouded in uncertainty, with the resumption of domestic championships still in gestation.
That report ends today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow at 6:30, God willing, for another edition of Prime News. The news was coordinated by Faith Tataberignou, produced by Ewane Eli Nolinga. I am Gienda Pelgian Blanche King. Until we meet again tomorrow, stay tuned to My Media Prime at 7 p.m. Kim Leonard will be live to talk about the issues about the ongoing saga raging going on between the land at the University of Boya and the natives of Bulu. Stay tuned to My Media Prime. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.